Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome for all my Sagittarius, my sun, moon, rising Sagittarius, or if you have Sagittarius dancing somewhere else in your chart, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to dive into your May 2022 reading. We're actually just a few days away from May, and actually May 1st, Beltane is going to be the Desert Cauldron Shop Anniversary. So we're going to do something a little bit special. We'll definitely have a sale, so definitely go check it out. We'll put up a few things in the shop so that it's marks our extra special occasion. But anyway, my name is Tara and I'm with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, my information is down below. So check out my website where I have a list of all of my readings. Plus, there's a link for the Leon Mystery School where I'm the head mistress. I teach mind astrology amongst many other lovely teachers and their subjects. But I was mentioning Desert Cauldron earlier. I'm one half of Desert Cauldron. James from Light of Raga is the other half. So we're super excited to be celebrating that 1-year shop anniversary. And I'm going to be working on the newsletter as that comes out on the 1st as well. So definitely check out all of those links. Okay, you guys. So I'm excited to see what Sagittarius has cooked up for May 2022. I have my list of goodies that I want us to dive into today, but first and foremost, I would like to cast a circle so that the energy is nice and clear and we get the best and clearest messages possible for our best and highest good. All right, so I want to start off by lighting our candle. I'm actually using a brand new candle today, so this is a nice pink candle that's been dressed in a lavender. Nice heart chakra candle. All right, and by doing this, I'm bringing in the elements. So even though you guys aren't physically here with me, energy doesn't know space or time. So no matter when you are watching this video, you are within that energetic circle. And my intention is that each of these elements, the fire element here, and you'll see, with the rest of the elements as well, that they help to clear your space as well. All right, so we have fire going. Let's go ahead and bring in a little bit of air with my Palo Santo and just cleanse that space. So using these physical items for their energetic properties. Here we go. And Palo Santo smells so good. Okay, we got that going. Let's go ahead and utilize the water element. Just continue clearing things out. This is actually some full moon water. Could all use a little bit of water. Actually, I was near the Verde River here in Arizona, so definitely got to check out some of that water element while I was out and about camping. I just got back today actually from camping. Okay, lastly, I want to incorporate the earth element. I'm going to use my wonderful eucalyptus wand that I actually bought from James a while back. And now together we make wands for our shop. But I want to start at the north, and I'm going to be calling in the elementals of each of the 4 directions to help with our circle. All right, getting nice and grounded. Calling in the elementals in the north to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the east to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the south to help us cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the west to help us to cast our circle today. All right, the circle is cast. Let our work begin, and so it is. All right. Just one last thing. I want to use a little bit of sound clearing with my Tibetan singing bowl here. Just to break energy just a little bit. Feels so good. All right, you guys. So let's take a look at the decks that I'm going to be using for this awesome Sagittarius reading. I am, of course, going to be using my Wally's World Oracles, my little Wally Wallito there. If you're interested in this deck, the link is down below. That is my very first Oracle deck. Also going to be using the Playful Heart Tarot. the crystal inspiration cards, the essential oil cards, my witch's tarot. Those are the backs of those cards. It's a really awesome deck, and all of these have been playing so well during these zodiac readings. I'm also going to use the Universal Folk Oracle. And lastly, a little bit of wax was left on that one. My 100 Ink Animals Oracle. This was an indie deck that I backed, and that's the back of those cards. All right, so I have a spread that James and I created for the zodiac readings for the month of May. And so we went off of the energy of Taurus, since we were going into Taurus season. So although it's a theme of Taurus, I do believe that the questions are broad enough and detailed enough that they'd be great for any zodiac sign. So that's why I'm using them for each of the zodiac for the month of May. Okay, so give me a moment to pull all of those cards, and then we'll go ahead and dive in. So first, I'm just going to pull from Wally's World to get an overall theme for Sagittarius. So what is the overall theme for May? Whoa, whoa, you ever get one of those days where all the cards just want to like talk at once? Okay guys, you're gonna have to calm down. I'm not reading every card. All right, so just one card. So already sounds like it's gonna be quite an energetic month for you guys. And it's been interesting, you know, as I've gone through each of the zodiac for May. You know, some, you know, are going to be super busy this month, some folks, and other folks with all the energy, they're being asked to slow down. So I'm curious to see what's in store for Sagittarius. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these cards. It's 5 cards, and the first card asks us where we might have an excess of abundance. You know, we're always trying to pull in more abundance, but it might be helpful to know where we might have an excess of it. So let's go ahead and put that card down. And then we're going to be taking a look into Sagittarius boundaries that we can take a look at for the month of May or work on. There's that card. So we're going to be working on how to strengthen our boundaries and where, but also where your boundaries are already strong, so that you can, you know, show praise for that as well. Okay, then we want to take a look into how we can form stronger bonds with others. That is a Taurian trait, but also one the other zodiac signs could use a little bit of. So lastly, we will take a look into a Taurian trait, a specific Taurian trait that Sagittarius might want to adopt for May. So let's take a look. Okay, putting these cards away, and then I wanted to just put a couple extra cards in there for you guys, Sagittarius. So I want to bust out the crystal reading inspiration deck. For those of you that love working with crystals, maybe this is a crystal that you have and you might want to utilize based on what comes out in the reading today. Or if you have a reading that, or a crystal that's similar energy, go ahead and bust it out. So maybe this will give you an idea. All right, and then lastly, oh my gosh, so many cards for you guys, but you know what? The more the merrier. Okay, putting that over there. Our essential oils deck. All right, so those of you that like to work with essential oils or herbs, I do feel that incorporating the senses is really good in helping with intentions, you know, monthly intentions and weekly intentions. So with this deck, sometimes it just gives you an energy that you want to match an essential oil to, or it gives you the essential oil that maybe you want to utilize. So up to you, or finding one that is of similar energy. Okay, so let's take a look, you guys. Very first card of the Wally's World. Okay, so this is our theme for the month of May, Sagittarius. And so this actually is the world's largest rose bush, and you can find this in Tombstone, Arizona. This was a picture that was actually taken by me. I've actually photoshopped my little Wally Wallito sitting in the shade down there. But let me take a look into this. All right. Okay, So it seems like for you guys, Sagittarius, the overall theme, based on, everything else that's going on, this is just kind of the overall umbrella, just kind of touches a little bit on all these areas. And this is all about connection. So your connection to your job, your connection to your spiritual self, your connection to the outside world, all of those things. And, these are all areas that we're going to take a look into, your private life, your external life, and your connection. And, our connection to our shadow, as well as our connection to our light. So keep this in mind as we dive into the rest of the reading, that it might be heavily focused this month on our connection to things, our connection to people, situations, and things of that nature. So hopefully we'll be able to get a deeper view of what that means. Okay, so very first card, where do we have an excess of abundance? So Sagittarius, where might you have an excess of abundance? We have the 10 of Pentacles. Well, isn't that just marvelous? So Sagittarius, you have an excess of abundance of the people that you connect to, the people that you have, whose lives you have touched. So not only, maybe some of you guys come from large families, but the people that you've brought closely into your circle. So, these are co-workers who feel at ease around you. These are your family members who are helped and guided by your light and your wisdom. These are friends who love being in your presence and they love your truthfulness. These are all the people that you connect to, even people that you meet out on the streets and maybe you never see them again, but somehow you've touched them just by the light that you radiate, that energy that they walk past, or, you've held a door open for somebody, or, help the old lady cross the road, So those things that you do definitely make a difference. And that is the excess that you have, which is wonderful. Just continually bringing people into your sphere. Even if you're somebody who lives alone, you're definitely not alone. As all of us, we're not alone. We're a collective, right? But just the way that you've been able to touch the lives of other people, it's as if they're within your sphere, even if they are far, far away. So that is fabulous. All right, so I get the whole connection thing. So let's go ahead and keep that in mind still as we continue on to our boundaries. So Sagittarius, where can we work on these boundaries? Where maybe do we need a little bit of help with them? Let's see. All right, the 7 of Wands. Okay, although the Sagittarian symbol is the bow and arrow, right? Almost like ready, standing at the ready to shoot it nice and straight and narrow. But when it comes to conflict, more, I would say, with the people whose opinions we care about. Sometimes there's, people have an opinion about something, but you don't really know them. And, just kind of depending on the source that it's coming from, sometimes we're like, meh. And other times there are people's opinions that we really do value. So when we are in conflict with those people, the people who we care about their opinions, we care about their thoughts about us, it seems like you may care a bit too much about what others view you as or how they view you. So these are people that you actually know. And this is where your boundaries might drop a little bit, that when you're in conflict with them or a disagreement, it's almost like you hurt because you feel like they've been hurt somehow, that your opinion being on the opposite end of the spectrum of this other group or this other person is somehow hurting them because you have an opposite opinion, when really, it's great that people have opposite opinions because that's how we self-evaluate, that's how we grow, that's how we change things. And so definitely take a look into your boundaries when you come across conflict with others. Do you find yourself backtracking? Do you find yourself going back on what you said, or somehow saying, oh, well, you're right, or yeah, it's fine, So definitely take a look at that. All right. Moving on, let's take a look into where our boundaries are strong. Okay. And we have the Ten of Cups. Look at you guys with the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. All right, so not only do you have that excess of energy when it comes to, or excess of abundance, bringing people into your sphere, being able to touch the lives of many people. And the reason it's being pointed out here is maybe many of you aren't aware just how much of an influence you have on other people. So then when we look into the strength of your boundaries, where your boundaries are strong, it is when it comes to family, when it comes to the people that you feel like you can bring into your sphere. You trust them enough, or you feel comfortable with them enough in order to bring them in. And so by having the strong boundaries that you do, making sure you're not running yourself ragged. Like some people, sometimes we're guilty of that, running ourselves ragged just to please other people. But when it comes to those people that you bring in privately, you're pretty good with your boundaries, which is why I think you're so good with people. And so I said before, with the arguments though, that might just be one area that you might want to focus on, because that might be where it may need a bit more help. Whereas in all the other areas pertaining to those that you hold dearest and closest, you're pretty good. And that's why you have such strong bonds with these people. Okay, let's see, moving on. Speaking of strong bonds, let's see how we can make them stronger with others. So maybe these aren't people that you have tightly in your sphere. Maybe these are just sometimes some coworkers that you kind of sort of know. These are like acquaintances, like, people out there that we don't know too well. So how can we form some stronger bonds with them? Oh, this is such a beautiful card. I love that wheel card. And you have like this happy little person meditating in the middle. Almost looks like an elemental. Okay, so how we can form stronger bonds with others. Oh, all right. So that's connecting with our theme card here, actually. Let's say, just for instance, I'm just doing a little scenario here. Let's say you go into work. You have your coworkers. Some coworkers you appreciate working with. Some coworkers are more difficult to work with. But when we keep in mind that we have an effect and we have an influence on everyone around us. If we decide, well, I don't like working with those people, so your attitude towards them is one of conflict, or one of a cold shoulder, or maybe not smiling at them as much, there is a energetic transmission between you and those other people. And so in return, you might have that mirrored back at you. On the other side, when there are people that you really do enjoy working with, maybe you let them get away with a little bit more. You smile a little bit more. You ask to work on projects with them. Again, there is an energetic exchange going on there. So keep that in mind when you are working with others, that your attitude towards them, even if you haven't voiced that attitude, is going to be felt. And it will be more difficult, especially if it's a negative attitude, more difficult to maybe work with that person. I'm not saying you have to like everybody that you work with, because it's not possible. But at least maybe say, well, let's take a look into why I, dislike this person. Why don't I like being around this person? You might have to even do a little bit of shadow work. And you might realize that, this is just a person on their journey. I happen to be in the same workspace as them, and you might be able to build a stronger bond with them when we take away the issues surrounding our negative response to them, or our negative energy towards them. So definitely take a look into that. I definitely feel that that's, I think, a message for a lot of us, not just Sagittarius, but taking a look at why do certain people rub us the wrong way? Why don't we like to be around certain people? Why do certain people have an easier time upsetting us? And that's when we really need to go in of ourselves and find out why. And when we do, we come back with more knowledge and we continue to build stronger bonds with those other people. Okay, so let's take a look into a Taurian trait to embrace. All right, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so Taurus is known for, you know, their ability to live with an open heart. Everything is with, you know, I know they're a very grounded sign, but they often, you know, open themselves up, you know, almost like wearing their heart on their sleeve at times. And so maybe that is something that you can try to embrace. I know that already we mentioned that when it comes to you being able to touch the lives of others, you are fantastic at that. You have a beautiful family, you know, not just your DNA family, but all the people that you've chosen to bring into your circle is a beautiful family that you have, to the abundance level of that, you know, that's very good. And that you have wonderful boundaries when it comes to, you know, your spiritual, physical family, your friendship families. But when it comes to all those that maybe you don't know so well, and we can only, you know, guesstimate who they are based on their outward appearance or their actions, see if you can do a little bit, maybe in the month of May, of wearing your heart out on your sleeve. You know, what would happen then if we looked at somebody and our knee-jerk reaction is, I may not like that person, but what if? What if you just put that aside for just a second and you came to them with an open heart? Would that change the energy between the two of you? Would you find or be surprised by the relationship that you might be able to build with this other person? It may not happen all the time, but it couldn't hurt just to try. So, I don't know. I challenge you guys to try and do that this month. Okay, let's take a look at a crystal. Those of you, my little crystal lovers out there, that maybe want to work with crystals in the month of May. Ooh. And we have turquoise. Prioritize your health. And what I'm getting with this one, actually, I'm having it connect to this card. I'm not really feeling your physical health, but more your health or your healthy attitude towards others that you do not know so well. So, all right, very interesting. That was an interesting message there. Okay, so let's take a look at an essential oil. Like I said, this deck either has an essential oil that you could utilize, or it's a energy of one that you can look through all your essential oils and decide which one matches that energy. All right, so we have Melaleuca. Interesting, not one I've heard of, but the key word on here is evolution. The true statement is, I attract only what is for my highest good. Wear your heart on your sleeve. See where this gets you. It says, the imbalances and relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. Again, going back to this theme card here, connection, our ability to connect with others. And as we do, we find there are relationships that we can let go of, plus there are relationships that we can bring in. How do we bring those relationships in? New relationships? By wearing a heart on our sleeve. Getting to know people. And I'm not saying, you know, that every single time you're going to make a friend. Sometimes we will get our hearts broken, but it's, no, as they say, better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So let's see what would I use as a, because obviously I don't have this particular essential oil, but if I were to come up with one that was similar for imbalances, relationships that we no longer need, so transformation, evolution. You know what I would use? And I was thinking of maybe another one, but rose. Yeah, and maybe I'm getting that because it's the rose bush here. But really, rose for me is, there's a lot of things that rose could help with. So when I think of transformation, I also think of roses because there's so much that you could utilize. There's the rose hips, there's the rose petals, there's the rose oil, there's the stems, there's the leaves, there's the, well, sometimes even the soil around roses. There's a lot that you can get out of them. And I think that that would work really well with transformation and releasing and bringing in of new relationships. So, okay. Sagittarius, I would like to look into a few more areas for you. Just want to get a deeper dive into May for you. So I'm going to use my Witch's Tarot here, and I want to look into a few more categories. I want to look into health, wealth, love, and career. All right, so let's take a look at that. All right, here we go. So yeah, today I was talking about that I just came back from camping today. We went out to a place called the Bloody Basin. I know, wonderful name, right? It's out here in Arizona, and we went to a place called Sheep's Bridge. It was literally a bridge built to help sheep cross the river. And yeah, we got to spend a night, not out by Sheep's Bridge, but we found a nice little camping area near the wash under the trees, and it was just so beautiful. And yeah, now we're back, and I think after today's reading, or tonight's reading, I'm just gonna hit the hay. All right, so let's take a look into our first card. So health. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what they have about health. Ooh, we have the Six of Wands here. All right, so I'm getting a little bit different message coming through. Let me just sit with this for a second. Because I think it was my ego went one way and then was like, no, something else. Okay. Okay. All right. So Sagittarius, when it comes to, I like to look at the complete health. So, you know, your mental health, your emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, all of that. It seems like when we are trying to improve ourselves, like we want to help out any one of these areas on us, that perhaps we can be hypercritical of the things that we do to help ourselves. You know, we're not this way when it comes to others wanting to help themselves. You know, you're like their best cheerleader, like, yeah, you know, you're doing great. You know, somebody wants to, I don't know, eat healthier for their body, or they want to exercise, or they want to change up their spiritual routine, or they're doing different things in order to help their mental health, you know, so on and so forth. You're there, you know, behind them. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. Hey, maybe you want to try this and that. But when it comes to you and the things that you've been doing for your own health, you know, you research some things, you look around, and you do try things because you do genuinely want to improve and grow. But when you hit a snag on things, or things may have plateaued, all of a sudden it's like, man, you know, it seems so easy for everybody else, but for me it seems so difficult. Why? And here it's saying you're being a little too hard on yourself, Sagittarius. You know, no matter where Sagittarius is in your chart, like I said, sun, moon, or rising, just, you know, take a look into that. How do you speak to yourself? You know, sometimes it's not out aloud, but how do you speak to yourself when maybe the health journey isn't going as you had planned it, or you're doing things for your mental health, but it hasn't quite turned out, or you don't quite feel the way you think you should after, you know, 1 month or 1 week. This card here is asking you guys to cut yourself a little bit of slack and to remember that you are here on planet Earth as a human being. Yes, you're an eternal spirit on the inside who is capable of so many wondrous things, and that's what we love to tap into. But you do have to remember that that beautiful, wonderful, eternal spirit is inside of a human body. And a human body is not perfect. You know, if it was perfect, why would we come to planet Earth to come to school, to learn, to grow, to help others, you know, and as it reflects, you know, in the fourth and fifth dimension. So just keep that in mind. You know, next time you want to give a little bit of negative self-talk and like, oh man, it's just not working. Pause. Remember, you know what? I'm human. And if this were my best friend, I definitely wouldn't talk this way to my best friend. Or if this were my sister or my brother or somebody else in my family, I definitely wouldn't talk to them that way. I'd be cheering them on when they feel low. Okay, so that's more what I'm getting in terms of your overall health is just, I feel like a lot of Sagittarius out there have been really rough on themselves. So, you know, cut yourself some slack, man. Cut yourself some slack. Okay, going into wealth, we have the Two of Cups. All right, so with this one, I'm getting that there are a few Sagittarius out there who may want to call in somebody else about helping you out with your finances and money for the month of May. I know that we want to be autonomous and we want to do things for ourselves, but I think in a very rigid form of that mindset, we forget that we are on, like, there's literally billions of people on this planet. We're all kind of meant to work together in some capacity or another. So this is just encouraging you guys to reach out. Maybe this is a financial advisor. Maybe this is somebody in your family who's really good with finances or working the stock market or works at a bank. So definitely reach out about regarding your finances. How can you make it grow? How can I be set myself up? If I'm struggling to, keep my, some people call it their monthly nut. How can I keep my monthly nut small? If I don't make a whole lot of money and I can't have, tons of expenditures, how can I bring that down a little bit so it's a little bit more manageable? Or I'm doing really well on cash, but it seems like I don't know where all my money goes. Maybe you can have somebody help you out with that. So I definitely see bringing in somebody else if you feel like you've been struggling in your finances lately in order to save, or maybe you've been saving for a home or something like that, or you're just looking to expand what's in there, and putting in a savings account and getting like 2 cents every couple of months is maybe not working out for you. So definitely bring someone in. Don't feel like you have to do finances alone. I mean, finances give anybody a headache unless that's your thing. But even then, I would say bring in another brain to kind of help you work with that. Even experts in their field don't do everything by themselves. They have other experts to come and help them. Okay, love life. All right, Sagittarius, who is actually opposite myself, Gemini. So I do have Sagittarius somewhere in my chart, but it's just not my sun, moon, or my rising. But yeah, this is the complement to Gemini. So taking a look into love, ooh, we've already had a couple of twos, and now we're going to a Two of Pentacles. So again, this is all about connection, you guys, this month, and now we're getting it with the twos coming in for us. So love. All right. I'm getting this for those who are in a relationship right now and those who are not in a relationship right now. So maybe people who are just dating around, but it's decision time. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the people that are actually in a relationship. So whether it's been long-term or short-term, just people that are in a relationship. I'm getting that this has been kind of an intense year, an intense past few weeks, that certain things have been coming up for us. A lot of our shadows have been coming up, and when you have a couple and their shadows are coming up together, it may feel like that there is a wedge between you guys. So perhaps there might be a little wedge, in the relationship, but this is a time to make some choices. The choices could be, I'm not saying like to leave the person or not. That's not really the choice that I'm seeing. The choices are more along the lines of, seems to be coming up again and again. How do I want to proceed this time? Because every other time that I proceeded in exactly the way that I think I'm going to proceed this time, I'm just going to get the same result. And that person is just going to get the same result. And I'm going to get the same result back. Something needs to change. We need to either change our attitudes, change the way that we're working through our conflicts together, or changing the way that we work through our shadows together. But definitely need to start making some different choices in order for your relationship to come back stronger and to grow. Okay. Also, for the people who are dating around, the choices coming up here are, if you have been noticing that the people that you have been dating, whether you're on Tinder or on an online dating, or you're just kind of going around town meeting people and going out on dates, if you've noticed you kind of keep dating the same person and you keep finding yourself leaving for the same reasons, then it's time for a change. And just repeating patterns. I'm seeing repeating patterns in those who are dating, repeating patterns in those who are in a relationship already. And it's time to make some shifts and changes. They're not always comfortable because usually it means going in and yes, doing the shadow work. But you know what? It's always well worth it because we gain new insight, we get more tools in our toolkit, we become better people, brighter people that can help and definitely help those relationships. And it's not just you, because that's 50%. The other 50% is the other person. They've got to do stuff too. So this is you guys communicating and talking about this. Okay? All right. Lastly, I would like to look into career. All right. So I know career could be you guys working from home or, going to a job, or maybe you are self-employed. But we have the moon here. And isn't that an interesting looking moon? It's like the giant crayfish gonna take out the town like Godzilla. All right. Give me just a moment with this one. Okay, I think this is for a specific group of you guys out there. So this is obviously not going to be for every person who's watching this, but I kind of feel that there's two occupations that you're equally happy at, you're equally good at. You can see yourself in both doing well. So I feel like this is you in the middle. And again, choices are coming up, but really going within and looking into the first job. Okay, first job, you said, I'm feeling great at that job. I can see myself working there, for many years. I'm talented at it. I feel like, I can grow. Okay, how does that feel when you put that through your heart? Is that the ego talking, or is that truly your heart talking? Do that same thing for the second job. Write down any pros or cons. And if you find that they are equal, I would say, it's don't beat yourself up about choosing one or the other, because if they're equal, then there's equally going to be things that you learn from that job and things that you're going to dislike along the way, and conflicts that'll happen along the way, as well as wonderful things that you could learn about yourself and other people, ways that you can help the world and put your stuff out there. So they're going to have their give and takes. So I think this one, I know you've probably been asking around like, okay, so I've been thinking about this job, because there's these two, and I think they're both great, and I'm just torn. I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. You cannot make a wrong decision if you're going within and asking your heart how it feels. Okay, there is no wrong decision on this path that we're on. It's just a decision. That decision, of course, is going to lead us down, another part of our path, and we're going to learn something about ourselves. It's okay. So I want people to get this whole wrong decision. I'm making a wrong decision. Even the decisions that we think are quote unquote wrong, we learn something from them. So just kind of keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. All right. You know what else I want to take a look into? A possible opportunity and a possible block that we may encounter in May of 2022. And I'm going to use my Universal Folk Oracle for that. All right. Let's go, Sagittarius. Let's go, Sagittarius. Let's go. Let's go, Sagittarius. Let's go. Okay. Possible opportunity, Sagittarius, May. Possible block, Sagittarius, May. Okay. All right, let's see what you guys got cooked up here. A possible block that we may encounter, and what is the lesson or workaround with this one? Okay, we have knowing, divination, converse, energy, free will. Okay, I'm actually getting this for a few of the things that I have pulled cards for today. One of those is this one, when it came to your finances. And you know that you probably should be bringing in somebody else to help you out with your finances, but it's like this stubborn nature of no, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. And that's just, it's, I'm guilty of that too, because I can also be quite stubborn. But in the end, we're all here to help each other. So when that comes up and you know deep down you need help, this is where you need to go within and say, okay, I think that's the ego saying, no, 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 I can do this myself. And my heart is really saying, hey, bring somebody else in. Let's work together. Same thing here with the making the choices in the relationships that you're in, whether you're dating around or in a long-term relationship. You know that things need to change. It's time to make different choices, but it's like this stubborn, no, no, no. I just want to keep, maybe it'll be a different outcome this time. And then with the job, again, it's like I know this is the moon card, but it's like, almost like a tale of two cities here. It's I could make a wrong decision. Oh, but if I go there, that could be the wrong decision. Maybe I just won't make a decision. When really deep down, you already know the answers. You already know what you need to do, because this is your higher guidance. This is your higher self speaking to you. But the ego is blocking you. The ego is like, nope, I can't see it. Well, the ego doesn't have a connection to the higher self, so it doesn't know. So I mean, you can't really fault it for that. So that's where the heart needs to come in and say, shh, 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 it's okay, it's okay. I'm here. I got this. And then once you listen to the heart and you follow through and do the thing, then the ego is like, oh, okay, all right, gotcha. You can handle this. All right. So let's take a look into a possible opportunity that Sagittarius has for the month of May. Ooh, quickening, discovery, acceleration, knowledge, source. All right. So the faster, or I'd say, the more quickly you can realize when the ego is jumping in front of your higher self, what your heart wants to say, what your, higher self wants to say, your spirit wants to say, the faster those things that you want to manifest and happen can happen. Really, it's just the step aside, please, of your ego. And once the ego can do that, you will be amazed at how fast things can happen. I won't mention names, but I did have one of my clients send me a beautiful feedback from the reading that I gave a little while back. And it was about basically the ego, with all its past traumas and past experiences, had been putting a block when it came to a particular area of this client's life. And by setting that aside for just a moment, was amazed at how fast things started manifesting. Didn't even think things could manifest that fast. And so I was super happy. I was like, yeah, man, you just keep on doing that. I'm just so proud. And I'm working on that too. I'm not a perfect person. I don't ever claim to be. None of us here are perfect, but it's so awesome when we can see that, when we can push that aside, that ego aside, and then it's like, the gates open up and everything that we've been wanting just comes rolling in almost effortlessly. And so that's an opportunity that you have. And I think this message, extends beyond Sagittarius, but to all of us. So definitely try that out this month, where you feel the ego coming up, going, nope, 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 that's not going to happen, not going to work. Nope, that's just going to fail. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great. Could you just step aside for a second? And then the floodgates of abundance and manifestation open up for you. Okay, let's see. I would like to go into viewer's choice. So people that are in the chat today will be able to vote on one of two questions. So if you have access to your emojis, I'm going to have you either vote with a red heart emoji or a green heart emoji. If you don't have access to emojis, then you can just type green heart or red heart. I know that it's kind of a busy day today, so not a lot of people are physically in the chat today, but I know a lot of people are going to watch the replay. So if that is the case, then actually, since there's one other person in the room, I'm going to have them vote. And then we'll be able to get some insight. But here it goes. Okay. So the very first question, if this is a question you would like me to pull a card on, please vote with a red heart emoji or type the words red heart. April showers bring May flowers. What lesson must be learned before my next biggest manifestation can come to fruition? Okay, again, the question is, what lesson must be learned before my next biggest manifestation can come to fruition? All right, question number 2. Vote with a green heart emoji or just type green heart if you would like me to pull a card on this question. What outer truth am I ignoring? Again, the question is, what outer truth am I ignoring? Okay, go ahead, cast your votes. So either the red heart for what lesson must be learned before my next biggest manifestation can come to fruition, or please vote with a green heart, what outer truth am I ignoring? Okay, so go ahead, cast your votes. Like I said, I know a lot of people are busy this evening, as it is Friday Eve, as tomorrow's Friday. So if that's the case, then I will ask the other person in the room, as their vote also counts, and we will go from there. Okay, so I'll give you guys some time. Go ahead and cast your votes, red hearts or green hearts. Perhaps green hearts like my nails. Actually, I gotta redo my nails. See what camping does. All right, I'm going to bust out my 100 animals deck for this question. So I'll just give this a little shuffle. And actually, maybe I have a little sip of water. You know, I've been out in the desert. I'm a little dehydrated. Oh, that's the good stuff. Oh, that's the good stuff. Water is life. Okay, so let's see. Let's put the vote to the other one in the room. James, red heart or green heart?
Green.
Okay, green heart. Here we go, green heart. And actually, you know what? I'm partial to green right now because... And heart chakra. Okay, so here we go. Green heart, you guys. That is the vote. And the question is, what outer truth am I ignoring? All right, so let's see here. What outer truth, Sagittarius, have we been ignoring? Okay, that card just like ever so awesomely just landed on my leg. So we're gonna go with that one. Ooh, snake, rebirth. Okay, Sagittarius, I don't think that on the surface you're actually aware of how much you have changed in the past year, how much you have grown, how much you have transformed. I know that, you know, some of us are sort of where we're like, oh yeah, you know, I guess I must have changed a little bit, but no, you've done a lot of growing. You've done a lot of learning about yourself. You've done a lot of different things that you haven't done before in order to aid yourself along your journey. You've done some difficult things, and I want you to really pause and reflect on that, because that's also a part of our self-care and acknowledging our intuition and our higher self. And the more that we can acknowledge it, the stronger it gets. You know, those of you that have been wanting to enhance your third eye, or your open up your crown chakra, or opening up your heart so that you can truly hear the truth that it's speaking, you're going to have to acknowledge the growth that you've gone through, you know, the skin that you've shed. And I think that when we don't acknowledge those things, we don't acknowledge how far we've truly come, and it's just more brushed off with, yeah, of course, I probably have grown. Yeah, I probably have changed. But you don't really look at how, and you don't really look at how far you've come in your journey and what that journey has looked like for you. That sometimes we fall into the pit of holding on to this old skin and it doesn't fit anymore. You know, and that's where conflict occurs. That's where manifestation has a hard time coming in for us. That's where, you know, all of our dreams and the things that we want have, it just feels like it's so hard to bring it in. It's because we're wearing this old skin and it's not us anymore. It was at a time and it was needed at that time, but that's not really who we are right now in the present at 7:49 my time p.m. You know, you have done so much, you have grown so much, and I want you to please acknowledge that. And when you do, you can finally let that old skin go, let yourself shine, and let everything that you've been wishing for and everything that you've been wanting, let it come pouring in. You deserve it. You deserve it. So good job, Sagittarius. Very proud of you. Keep it going. You've grown. It's time to let that skin go. Bring in that stuff because you deserve it, like I said. And, you know, we all deserve, you know, no matter our zodiac signs, we all deserve to manifest all the things that we want. You know, we're all deserving beings. We're all made of love, and love is what we deserve. Okay. All right. So I would like to take you guys through a healing, and I'm so glad I've got a lot of feedback from you guys that you guys are enjoying healings at the end of the zodiac readings. I have my little tongue drum here, and a lot of people have been enjoying this. So my intention with these healings is just to create a little space here. You know, it doesn't take long, just a couple of minutes. Create a little space here where you guys have some time to just be still without distraction and really go in and just focusing on your breath, focusing on your intentions, the things you want to bring in, the things that you want to release for the month, and just kind of help to clear up that energy with you guys. Okay? All right, so got my drumsticks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a little guided meditation. And then towards the end, I'll start playing, not for very long, probably just, you know, a moment or so. And then I'll bring you guys back. Okay? All right, let's do this. So find yourself a nice, comfortable place. Either you're sitting on the floor, sitting in a chair, laying in bed, sitting on a pillow. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. And as you do, bring your awareness to your breath. Go ahead and feel the rise and fall of your chest. And as you're focusing on your breath, feel the energy in your body. Does anything feel achy? Does anything feel painful? Where do you feel relaxed? And bring your awareness back to your breath. Continue breathing in and out. And on your next inhalation, I want you to take a nice deep breath. So filling up the lungs, the diaphragm, and the stomach. And release. Nice full release, belly button to the spine. Inhale again. Breathing everything in, everything. And exhale. And on your next inhalation, I want you to focus on your intention for the month of May. Contemplating and thinking about all the messages that you have received this evening. What parts of those messages connected with you? And taking those in, what do you want to bring in? Is it a belief? Is it a mindset? Is it a thing? Is it intangible? What is it? Breathe that in. And as you exhale, what is it that you would like to release? To keep that cycle of life flowing, things coming in and things releasing, coming in, release, coming in and release. Again, are you releasing a belief, an old thought pattern? Are you shedding a skin? What is it that you are releasing? And I want you to continue focusing on this as you breathe in those intentions and breathe out that which you want to release. And when you're ready, if you can, visualize roots coming down, down, down from your legs, from your feet. These are your energetic roots. And as they go down into Mama Gaia soil, down, down deep, twisting and turning, they are met with all the other roots of this planet. The physical roots of plants and trees, the energetic roots of crystals, animals, other people, so many other roots. And you realize that you're part of a great community here on this planet. And those roots inch deeper and deeper towards the core of the earth. It gets warmer and warmer. And once you have reached that core, your roots wrap around tightly into that core. That is the heartbeat of the earth. Feel secure. Start breathing in that Gaian energy. You are grounded, you are protected, you are a child of Gaia. And allow that energy to come up through your body, filling every cell in your body, filling every square inch of your being, your energetic being and your physical being. And that energy shoots out through your crown chakra and is met at source energy. Source energy is ignited, and that bright white high vibrational light comes down through your crown chakra, down through your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root, down through the ground star, down through your roots, and down into Gaia. You are a wonderful conduit of energy, mixing with Gaian energy and source energy, both of which you are. What a blessing to be able to be a mix of these two beautiful energies and to be a conduit for both. Allow that energy to move within your body and to fill you with duality, with balance, and of peace. And while you continue breathing, I'm going to play a little bit of music and focus on your visualization, focus on your intentions. All right, you guys, go ahead and start bringing your awareness back into your body. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes, and if you've had your eyes closed, when you're ready, go ahead and open them back up. All right, you guys, I am so happy for those who came and joined this evening, and for all those who will watch the replay. Thank you so much for joining me. This is an absolute pleasure. I love to do these live chats and connect with you guys. That's why I don't make so many pre-recorded videos anymore. I love a sense of community. So I would like to thank not only my subscribers and those that have donated through PayPal Me and through the super chats and super stickers, but all of my patrons as well. Thank you so much, because this is what I do, and I love being able to do what I do, and I love being able to help you guys in the best way that I know how. So thank you specifically to my patrons, Michelle and Syrian, Brandy, V, Samara, Kirsten, the Silver Wheel Witch, Kayla, Jason, and Brian. Thank you all so very much. And let's go ahead and close up that circle. So I'm going to blow out the candle here. You guys go ahead and make a wish. And let's thank those elementals for helping us with our circle today and creating this beautiful space for us. All right, so thank you, elementals of the north, for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, elementals of the west, for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, elementals of the south, for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, elementals of the east, for helping us to cast our circle today. Our work is complete. May we go in peace, as above, so below, as within, so without. Merry meet, merry part, merry do we meet again. All right, thank you guys, and so it is. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a great Friday Eve. I hope that you guys have a nice, relaxing weekend as it's coming up. I guess, you know, James and I already came back from our camping trip, but we got a lot of stuff coming up, and like I said, we're super excited about the anniversary for Desert Cauldron, so that's what we're going to be working on. I hope to see you guys there on Sunday on Etsy, actually, for Desert Cauldron. We'll have our little sale, but we're going to be doing a little something on there as well, so check it out, and also check us out on Instagram, so we're going to be doing stuff there too. So anyway, thank you very much, and I will catch you guys later. Love you, Sagittarius. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.